That is a stunning piece of wood. I would have never thought in a million years that would have ended up coming out. Don't even see it very well because it's so shiny, the light's reflecting off of it. But I took that bottom. So this is the project. I'm calling it my prehistoric bowl, as you can see from the title. The reason being is because it's old, chunky and rough around the edges, just like me. So, sticky and horrible. So yeah, yeah, nothing else to say really. It's failed. No good. So I'll see you guys next week. Fresh new project, one that works. And take care. Speak to you soon, and bye for now. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody is well, and thank you so much for coming over and joining for another Sunday lunchtime live, should I say. I'm on my own today, giving Nick a day off. She's been here every week for umpteen weeks, so she's got a few things to do today. So I thought, well, while I'm doing this tech thing, there's not a lot that she can really do. So she had the day off. She wanted the day off. So anyway, so you're stuck with me today. So I'm sorry to disappoint you if you came over to see Nick. Hope you can hear me well. According to this, you can hear me. So today, I've been asked by so many people what setup I use, what cameras I use, what software I use, what we do to produce, obviously, from here out to you guys. So I thought what I'd do is I spend a bit of time just going through the setup that I have, and I know a lot of the other guys who do live streams have got similar setups. And I thought for the guys who want to do some live streaming or some videoing, but have thought, oh, I need to spend a fortune on tech to get me there, I thought we'd just go through it a little bit. You don't need to spend a massive amount of money to put a video up on YouTube. Live streaming, you need to spend a little bit more, but obviously to produce a video, you don't need a massive amount of tech. You can always do it from your mobile phone. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people do. So first off, we'll welcome a few guys in, or everybody in. There's quite a few of you come in, so thank you everybody for coming over. I know it's not the normal turn-in, but I thought that'd be something different for a change, and hopefully I'll answer a few questions that people have been asking. So we'll start from my chat. So we've got Colin from, I'm not going to say everybody what I'll say, but Colin from Woodturning, Woodturning by Barry, Barry Fisher, Gerard, the French turner, Lawrence, Ruby. Hi, Ruby. Hope you're well. Happy Mother's Day. Andy H. Chris Dodds. Peter Corin, is that? Sorry if I pronounced it incorrectly. Let's have a look. What else have we got? Doug Miller. Hi, Doug. Hope you're well. Wayne the Woodturner. Hi, Wayne. Hope you're very well, sir. Hope the pizza went down well yesterday. Chris Spinning Wood Dodger. Mark the Jumping Wood Turner. Morning, Mark. How are you, sir? Barry's Wood Creation. Hi, Barry. Jappy. Hi, Jappy. How you doing, bud? I think that's about it. Is that? Oh, Brent Beecroft. Hi, Brent. Richard Bunton, hi Dad. He's just been over. He's had to rush back. He said, I've got to go because I've got to catch you live. So could have stayed and joined in, couldn't he? Could have been a live earworm. What else? I think that's about it. Oh, Robbo Robson, hi Robbo. Eric Winkler, hi Eric. Michael Uwan, good afternoon, sir. Alfred, Terry Bartlett. Let's have a look. What else we got? Paul Finlay, and I think that is about it. So everybody else, welcome. If I missed your name, I do apologise. Shout and I'll call it out. Obviously, I'm on my own today, so if you've got any questions, please put some Q's in or a Q in front of your question. Oh, Keith Circlewood, hi Keith. Paul Kavanagh, hi Paul. So just put a Q in so I can keep looking up, and then I'll know there's a question. So I've done a list of what I'm gonna go through, so I don't try and miss anything. So what I've done is I've done a bit of a mobile cam on a tripod, so I can move it about to show you things rather than trying to move the cameras on what are already situated. So first off, I'm going to show you. Obviously, there's cheap webcams, and then there's mega expensive webcams. Now, I started off with a £23 full HD webcam, which is what I'm using on now. Good camera. Just need to manipulate the settings through OBS, but we'll talk about that later on. And then I moved on to well, I actually tried with the Logitech 920Cs, but I didn't like them. The picture quality wasn't very good in my eyes, not compared to these cheaper cameras. The picture quality seemed to be very hazy. Might have been that I couldn't quite manipulate the software to get the clear picture, but they're autofocus as well, so they kept focusing in and out, and I didn't like them. So I still got them. I use them for other things. But then I went to some 4K cameras, which is what I'm using now. I've got two over the lathe. I've got one above and then one on the tailstock. They're the 4K cameras. But what I've done is I haven't used them as full 4K. I've reduced them to 1080p. So the quality seems to be a little bit better. And obviously it doesn't put so much strain on your computer as well. So I'll go over to this mobile cam. If you get any questions, obviously just put a Q in the chat, and then I know to read it out or read it. So let's get the mobile cam. I'll come over here. I'll show you how I've got set up my system, and then we'll go over and talk about how you then connect that to your software that you're going to stream out with. So let's get this moved over. Who else we just? Oh, Dr. Bob's just come in. Hi, Robert. Hope you're well. And Wood Dude, welcome, sir. So let's just find this mobile cam. So this might not be a very good picture on this camera because I just quickly chucked it on the tripod. So I'm just going to move it over here. So obviously this cam here is a 4K camera, but it's reduced down to 1080p. And obviously I've got my original cameras. These are webcams. That's a webcam there. And I've got one on tailstock that I used to use for recording. So obviously on most PCs, you only have perhaps 2 or 3. Well, most PCs have 6 USB ports, but when you've got them on your motherboard, when they're side by side, they're most probably linked together. So they may struggle getting 2 separate feeds from one camera. So 9 times out of 10, it's better. It's better to, if you've got 6 ports, only putting 3 cameras in, so you've got 1 in each block of 2. So what's hang on? Let me just see. Mark, if Nicky's isn't there, who's going to chop the chip? Sorry, Mark. No, we're having takeaway tonight, mate. Too much hassle. Right. So obviously, then this webcam is run around on a cable on the ceiling. Now, most webcams, if you're plugging straight into the back of your PC, you can run up to 5 meters of USB extension cable. If you want to go further than that, then you need to use what they call a powered hub, but we'll talk about that further later. So that cable comes down there, and then it's run behind here, down there, as you can see, around that corner, and then it goes into a powered hub. The second 4K camera I'm using is this one here. Again, another camcorder. This is running in exactly the same way round, but this one is connected straight into the PC. The reason being is sometimes if you run two webcams the same for a powered hub, the powered hub, you won't be able to record the machine. Your computer won't recognize them. So that is the reason why this one and this one are running into two different ports, because obviously they're the same webcam. So let's just move this back a little bit. So I don't know if you can see, but there's my powered hub with my connections going in, with my 4-port going into it, and then that's into a USB 3 into the back of the PC. So someone's just asked a question, I just see. Robson, what is your download and upload speed? My download speed is 80.4 megs a second, and my upload speed is anywhere between 20 and 26 megasecond upload speed. So obviously then that is then into a USB 3. Most modern PCs will have 2 blocks of USB 2 and then 1 block of USB 3. If it's a new machine, new machine, you'll then obviously have USB 3.1, which is the new stuff coming out. So then I have another webcam here, which I use if I'm airworming for anybody else. We have another cam there, which I call my viewing cam, which is obviously normally when I do a live, I show my piece. And then my main cam that I do my intros with is that one up there. So they're the main 5 cameras that I use. That one and that one are different makes of camera, so they're into a powered hub, and that one goes straight back into the computer. So that makes life a little bit easier. Then I have another cam. I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, which is what I call my bench cam. Now that just looks down on the bench. As you can see, it's full of junk at the moment. And recently I've put in 2 more cams. One over here, which I've called my workstation cam, and then another one, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, here, for my drill press. They are running off a totally different system. They're still USB webcams, but I'm running them off of this device here. Now what this does, this takes 4 USBs, but obviously if you're running cams, you can only use 2, but this runs on an Ethernet cable, which goes round and plugs into the back of the computer, which makes, well, it actually goes into another one of those. So you've got a sender and a receiver, and then it converts down to USB 3 to plug into the back of your PC. So you can run 2 separate cameras off that. And this is powered again, but this is more reliable than a powered hub. And I've only had it in a few weeks, and it's been really, really reliable and good at the moment. So hopefully that's working well. So that's cams. Obviously, if you've been doing videos and you want to right, Ruby, what make of cameras? Right, so these cameras are they're just a generic 4K camera. What I'll do is at the end of this live, I'll list all the cameras that I use. These cameras came from Amazon. They was about 75 quid each. They are really good camera. I don't know the make of them. This is one of the first cameras I used, and that make is whatever that is. A lot of them obviously Japanese imports, aren't they? So that's that make. But I was told by Dale from Maple Street Studios not to buy a cheap camera, buy a mid-range one. Obviously, you can buy a £10 webcam, but try and avoid from those because the lens inside is not very good. But like I said, Ruby, I'll list everything at the end of the live, and I'll make a list of all them, and I'll put links for them from where I got them from as well. So if anybody wants to have a look at them, then they're more than welcome to have a look at them. So obviously, if you've already been doing videos and you have a webcam, a normal camcorder, you can use your camcorder to connect to your PC. If it's got like these have a mini HMDI plug, you can buy a piece of tech like this, which is called a HD video capture. Now this is USB. You get a lead with it like this. So what you do, obviously plug your USB lead into the device. Well, it's HMDI lead into your device, one side. Then obviously if it's not near your computer, you're going to need an extension lead, a USB extension lead. Again, up to 5 meters you can go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this into our machine. So, and that then, the mini HMDI plugs into your camcorder, like so. And then if you plug that end into a USB, that will use that camera as a webcam. So let's move over to the computer and I'll show you how to do that now. I need to move this camera over to this side though. So I was going to try and use OBS to do picture in picture in picture, but it messed around, so I thought it'd be easier to do it this way. So what I'll do is I'll just increase the size of the screen a little bit so you can see the monitor. Let's just increase that a little bit. Like that. Okay, you're going to get picture in picture in picture, but I can't do a lot about that. So to get this as a webcam, obviously you need to plug this end into our computer, which I'm now going to do. So that'll do the normal thing when you plug a device into it. That'll do its checks and its pings and its rings and everything else. So once that's done that, you need to do, once you've created your scenes, which this is the one I created earlier, just so, excuse me, so that I could show you guys what I was doing. Hi JP. We've got a question. Right, yeah, we've got a question here. So from Rex B. So one computer runs it all. Is one computer better for webcams, stroke video? For YouTube, use 2 computers. No, Rex, I use 1 computer for everything. It's a lot easier, mate. I'll show you in a little bit how you put OBS with your streaming, if that's okay. Right, so obviously our camcorder is connected to our computer. So now in OBS, we need to add a Windows video capture device. So there we go. So add that, and then that'll bring you a selection of all the different cameras up as you got here. Now because the one we've used is as a camcorder, that'll come up as a USB camera like that. So then I select custom, then you can select your size you want to record or capture into, which is normally 1920 by 1080. And there you go, there is our capture device. That's now using that camcorder as our webcam, which makes life much easier. So you've already got a camcorder, you can, and it's got an HMDI output on it. You can automatically use it with that. And I believe those capture devices are only about 15 quid. So it's a cheap start way. So obviously that picture's not very good at the moment. So we can add filters to that to improve that. So color correction filter, and then also a sharpening filter to increase a little bit of image. So sharpening I always put up to about 10. And in color correction, you've got loads of different bits you can use to lighten, change the color, you know, the shading, the color. I mean, there's loads of different bits you can do to mess around with your color, to mess around. It looks a bit, always camcorders always look a little bit grainy because obviously they're not such a good capture as a webcam, not through video capture. Obviously recording's better quality, but video capture is not as good. But you may improve that by putting a little bit of extra light on it. So, but it's an easy start if you've already got a camcorder that you've been using to record on. So let's get rid of that. So so obviously this is the software I'm using here is OBS. It's called it's been out for a long time. It's got loads of support with it, loads of technical bits for it. Just check the chat, make sure we've not got any questions we missed. Rex, thank you for showing why it costs so much to do this. If you've already got an old PC, you could run from I mean, Amazon sell an ex-corporate Dell machine for about £200, and that is good enough to run a couple of cameras from, more than good enough to run a couple of cameras from. So it doesn't cost a fortune. No, this, yeah, Pete, I agree with that. You, on these camcorders, these Canon ones, you can turn that off, so it doesn't actually show the zoom. And I know what you're saying, you get the zoom, the battery level and all that, but on these camcorders, you can turn that off. As you can see here, we just get the image that you see, and obviously you still get your camera zoom and all that as well. So if you want to bring it in or move it out, you can still get that. So that's a little bit of a benefit. Question from Jappy. I want to know, how do you change views between cameras without stopping the recording? Okay, Jappy, we'll go through that bit in a minute. Right, Peter, what is OBS? Right, I'm now going to go through OBS with you guys. So OBS, let's have a look here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a couple of pages and share them with you guys, just so it's easier to explain. So OBS is open broadcasting software. Let's have a look here. Which one do we want? This one here, open. So this is OBS. You obviously got to go down and download it. There are loads of plugins that you can do. Obviously, you just get, when you download OBS, you just get the basic. So once you've done your plugins, to what you want to do, obviously I think the color changing one you have to download, and the sharpness, I think they're all plugins. But once you've done them, downloaded it, you end up with this type of setup. Now, to get each camera for a view, these are all my different views. Obviously, I've got quite a few views because I do quite a, different. You can use the same camera for like multiple views, which is what I do. So you need to set up what they call a scene. So once you've created a scene, so what I've done is I've done a basic scene here, but I've added a couple of things to it. The reason being is if I hadn't have added nothing to it, I would have lost my audio. So once you've created your scene, call it whatever you want. I call this vidcam because obviously this is me talking to you. So this, obviously I've added a display capture here so you can see what I'm doing, but we'll close that now. So what you need to do now, obviously you need to add your video capture device. So whatever camera, say for instance you've got two cameras, you want to add those. So you add those. If you're starting from fresh, you'll have to call them whatever you want to call them, but mine are all listed here. So let's say for instance we want to do the tail cam. So we'll click on tail cam. That will add that to our source. Now you can resize that, you can shrink it, enlarge it, do whatever you want to do to it. Once you've finished doing what you want to do to it, you lock it. That will hold that camera in place now. You won't be able to move that at all now. So obviously if you want to resize it, you're going to have to unlock it and then adjust it. So if you want to add a filter, if you've done your filters, question from Gerald French. Do you need two monitors? No, you don't need two monitors, Gerald. I'm just lazy and I have to. So once you've done that, if you've downloaded your filters and you want to make a little bit better color, you go into filters, and obviously my filters are already added to that camera, because what that'll do is if you add that camera to another scene, that'll automatically use them settings that the camera's already set at. So you alter your settings, you alter your sharpness, and then that camera's already set up. So say for instance now you want to put your second camera, so you got picture in picture, do that quite easily by just adding another video capture device, and then you choose one of your other cameras. Let's go for overhead, like so. Now that's brought my overhead in, but as you can see, it's reversed because the way the camera's sitting above me. So what you need to do is right click on the picture, you go up to transform, and then you can rotate that 180 degrees. Now that's automatically transferred that all the way around to where I want it. So again, we can resize this to whatever size we want, small, large, or whatever. So let's say if we want to keep that size, actually let's just enlarge that a little bit. So we're going to lock that, but because that picture was brought in before the other one, or after the other one, sorry, this one's sitting on top of the original picture. So if we want to bring the other one on top, all we've got to do simply is click on the tail cam and arrow up once, and that'll bring the other one on top. So now we can reduce this one to what size we want. And there we have picture in picture. If you want to get rid of all this here, while you've got your red band around the outside of your camera, you can trim that by clicking on, holding your mouse over where you want, so you get arrow like that. Holding the ALT button, the Alt button on your keyboard, and that will bring in those sides like that. So now you can reduce that, and now you can enlarge it, and that'll keep those bits off the side. So there you have your picture in picture. So it's so easy to set up. It's not rocket science. It's a little bit daunting because obviously people worry about this, that, and the other, but it's not worth worrying about. And again, if you're using the webcam mics, when you install them, they'll automatically come up. But if you're using, like I do, and a lot of the other guys use a headset, you need to add an audio capture device. So again, it's on the plus, audio input capture. Now that'll bring you, obviously if you add on one new one from start, put it in here, but obviously ours are in. So let's go Nick's mic. So then what that'll do is you can select the mic you want to input here. So it's not, you mean it's easy, it's all self-explanatory really, it's not hard. And I'm sure if anybody has any issues, message me, or any of the other guys would be more than happy to help you where we can. Right, who have we got? So Gerald Frenchno, what about the dust in the PC? That's a very good question, Gerard. Right, let me bring this over to mobile cam again. Right, so actually no, let's bring it over to workstation cam. So, oh look, he says all the cameras are working fine. He's now lost the camera. Typical, eh? Right, so let's go workstation cam again. Right, so what I did is I built this workstation. Let me put this down. I built this workstation before I started streaming, and I built this cupboard here for my PC. Now in the side of that, I don't know if you can see down there very well, it's a bit dark. There is a 6-inch fan coming in down there, and then there's another 6-inch fan in the back. So what that one's doing is, that one is blowing, it's sucking air out, so it's going that way, air's going that way, and then the one on the back is doing exactly the same. Because there's a little bit of a gap around the door, it's just drawing in enough air to keep the PC clean, or cool, should I say. As you can see, there's a little bit of dust on the front there. That is from about 4 months worth of the machine running. That hasn't been cleaned for about 4 months. But behind that is a gauze filter, and there's a fan behind there to draw air from the motherboard and pushing it out. But obviously that's been stuck there through static electricity. So, but like I say, what I do is every 4 or 5 months, just take the PC apart, take all the filters out, clean all the filters, and just put it back together. So, you mean I've been live streaming now for best part of a year, and I've not had any issues with the PC playing up, and I've only cleaned it out once since I've been live streaming. So obviously that door's shut normally, but we plugged our camcorder into there, so that's why that lead's hanging out the front of it. So that's my cure for dust. I know a lot of the other guys just take their PCs apart and clean them out with an airline now and again, which will work. But as long as your PC can breathe, it shouldn't be a problem. Let's have a look. Right, dust from PC. Robbo, gone from funnels to breaking balls. Yeah, that one, it shattered on me. That blew up in my face. This one, look, blew up on me yesterday. I had a nasty crack all the way through there, and obviously the CA glue weren't good enough. But never mind. Right, so let's have a look what other questions are. So, Steve, we're not seeing what you are doing. You're not seeing what I'm doing? Should be able to. Should be able to see there. Yeah, that one. So what's Rex B? Does the audio mic in the headset have a 5 meter limit as well from the computer? The headset is wireless, so my headset will work until I go out into the garage. The receiver for that is there on the ceiling. I put it on the ceiling because of more of a range around the workshop, and that is on a 3 meter USB lead going into my powered hub. So depending on what headset you get, really, Rex, is depending on how far of signal you're going to get on your headset. Like I say, I use the Jabra, like a couple of the other guys do, and I normally get, well, I can go nearly to the end of my garage, which is, I don't know, nearly 15 meters away, I would imagine, before I start losing um, losing signal on my headset. So it's a good headset. Um, like Jappy question, but how do you keep dust away from the laptop? I don't use a laptop, mate. I use a PC. Like I said, it's hard to explain really. Let me try and get a bit of paper and sort of explain. Let me move cameras. What I'll try and do is because it's hard to broadcast through USB and also show you what I'm doing picture in picture. It's a little bit hard. Yeah, so that's hard to do, Robbo, because I'm altering things on OBS. You're not actually using the keyboard. You're using everything's on the screen. Um, I'll try and explain it a little bit easier through doing a. I'll try and do a video to make it a little bit more explanatory. But just to answer Jappy's question, if you say this is my PC, this is the PC here. It's in a cupboard. Now my airflow goes out like that in the side and in the back as well. So I have the PC sitting like that, and this is the back wall. The air's going that way. So the only air it's actually drawing in is through the gap in the door. There's no actual, so it's only like a little tiny gap, and it's pulling the heat away from the computer. So we're not actually blowing any dusty air into the cupboard where the PC's mounted. So that was my idea of doing it, so we don't create more dust in the PC than we need to. I know a lot of the guys who actually have their PCs on show, they don't get no major problems with dust as long as you clean it out regular. So as long as you clean your PC out regular, there shouldn't be any problems at all, mate. Question, dust from keyboard. I just bought a cheap keyboard, just a cheap keyboard. Yes, it does get covered in dust, but I just clean it every now and again. I know you can get a rubber cover to go over the top of them, but mine get covered in sawdust and shavings and chippings. I just hoover it all off and just dust over the top of it. And at the end of the day, if it lasts 2 or 3 years, you just replace it, don't you? Rex B, LED lights or fluorescents. We'll talk about that in a little bit, Rex, if that's okay. I just want to. So obviously once you're going through, I want to go back to a bit on the OBS because people get a little bit frustrated on trying to find out how to get it from there to YouTube. So let's see if I can get. Oh, no, wrong one. Let's see if I can get this one back up. So let's get rid of these that we don't need no more. So now we're showing you how to set that up. So get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. So let's bring this display. See, with this you'll be able to see, but you're going to see picture in picture in picture. But unfortunately, that's the only way I can show you how to I can go through it again with you guys because you said you couldn't see it. Just let me know if this is a better picture that you can see what I'm doing with. If it is, then I'll go through how to install the camera again, and hopefully that'll work for you. Laptops are not good always anyway. Yeah, laptops really haven't got the power you need to run multiple cameras, I don't think. So if this is a better image for showing you how to set up your cameras, then I'll just quickly run through it again with you guys. But obviously it's picture in picture in picture, so you're gonna have to just bear with that, unfortunately. But like I said, at the end of this, I will go through. All right, but yeah, much better. Right, so if that's better, we'll just go through it again. Right, so obviously you've got to set a scene. I've set this up prior, obviously, because like I said before, if I hadn't done, you wouldn't have heard no audio. So forget about these because they're just capture devices, so I could show you what I've captured. So if we want to, let's say for instance, we've called this scene 1, which is going to be our overhead camera. So we plus to add a video capture device. Now this can be anything from your webcams that you're using, or your camcorder that you've installed, or you've added with your HDMI capture device. So let's call this camcorder. So that will bring us this screen up now. So obviously it's going to bring in all the cameras you've got. So we need to find our camera that we desire we're going to use. So we know that the camcorder is going to be a USB video because obviously it's being brought in with a capture device through USB. So that's that camera there. So as before, we need to bring in, I always set mine to custom. And then you need to bring in what resolution you want it in. So I always go for 920 by 1080. Now that's given me my camera. So I don't normally worry about any of these. So install that. But this is now going to lose the picture in picture. So I'm going to close that so we don't lose our picture in picture. So obviously if you want to put another camera in there, you have to install another camera. Same principle. Then you can alter the size in and do everything else. So once you've done that, if you're going to use the audio from the if you want to use your audio from your cameras, that's fine, that will pick that up. If you don't want to use your audio from the cameras, then you need to add an audio input capture source. So obviously mine are already inputted for mine and Nick, so let's choose Nick's. Let's say for instance you're going to call yours Paul's or whoever, input it, that'll come up with the settings. Oh, hang on, let's try it. Let's remove that because they're going to show you the settings. Right, so let's install a new one from nothing. Right, audio capture. So we're going to input a capture. Let's go Dave. So then that'll give you a selection of what headsets or mics you want to put in. Obviously, normally with Nick's mic headset turned on, that will come in there as well. So you select which one you want. That will then automatically give you that capture device. And as you can see here, you'll have more than one capture device, which is these things dancing about. So we're going to cancel that. We're going to delete that because if not, it's going to echo. So remove that and that. So that's how you add your capture device and your audio. Now, as you can see, I have several different scenes because obviously I use more than one camera for more than one scene. Some people do more than one source for the same camera, so they can just turn the sources on and off. But I prefer it with doing it on scenes because you can have it so it sort of blends in and out easier than if you just go through sources, or I found it easier through scenes than just sources. So that's why I do like it does. So once you've set up all your cameras the way you want them and you've got everything ready to go, what you need to do then is learn how to upload it to YouTube. So there's two well, there's several different ways to upload to YouTube. So I'm just going to go through two. So what I do, let's close that one. No, get rid of that one. Let's close that one, and we'll open this one. So this is my YouTube screen. Obviously, if you're gonna just go from OBS to YouTube um, on your own, no airworms, whatever, you can do this by two easy steps. So I'm gonna create a stream to show you how easy it is. So I'm going to go on to YouTube, which will take me to obviously YouTube. We're then going to go on to, obviously this will be logged on to your channel. Actually, let's go to the channel. Let's go to the channel. Makes it easier. So you'll have this icon up here where it says create. Click on there, go live. That'll take you through to your schedule or your sheet where you can either stream live there and then, or you can manage it and schedule a stream for whenever. So let's say we want to schedule a stream. So we schedule a stream. I always create new. So obviously your title. So we're just going to, whatever your title is. Obviously it's public, but I'm going to put this as unlisted just in case it goes live by mistake. So then you've got your category. You want to, obviously your description, you put your description in there, whatever you want to put. Obviously it's going to have your presets or your pre-installs in, so that's all fine. Then you need to choose what category you want it to be pushed out in. I always use how to or entertainment, so we'll keep it how to. Your date, obviously select your date and your time. You obviously won't have this if you're not monetized, so don't worry about that. Then you can upload your image. So click on there. That will bring you any images that you have on your PC that are saved, or obviously you can create your own. So we'll just pick that one there. So then let's just create stream. Now that is all ready to go. All ready to go. So we're going to get rid of that because that's obviously telling me that's created because we know we're already going live. So that will bring that up screen. Now what you need to do now is you need to transfer this here, which is your stream key, which if you open that, that'll be your stream key. You need to copy that into your OBS. And the way you do that is, well, the way I do it is I copy it, click on copy, and then I don't know if that'll let me do it because obviously I've got a stream running. And then you go over, I need to get rid of that and bring the other caption device in, that one there. So once you've done that, you need to go up to tools, and where it says this one here, obviously mine's not, I can't go on mine because I'm streaming. Auto configuration wizard. So you click on that, you just follow the links all the way through, and then you'll be asked for your stream key. So let's copy and paste your stream key. And then once your stream key is copied and pasted, close it. And then when you're ready to stream, you come down, you hit your start streaming button. You will then get over on your YouTube. Oh, wrong one. On your YouTube, you'll get this page come up. Obviously, you need YouTube open. You'll get this come up. You will start streaming. Image will come up here, and then this here will glow saying you can start your stream. So as soon as you start your stream, you are live. So that's as easy as that to start streaming live on YouTube. So that's the easy way, or my eyes, the easy way. And the other way, what a lot of guys use if they want to go earworms, they have what they call StreamYard open. So StreamYard is just as easy. So let's just quickly open up StreamYard, and we'll show you how to quickly set up a link for that. So obviously StreamYard, be careful because there's lots of other different broadcasting services coming in. There's like Melon app, Restream, which I tried using, but I wasn't very successful with. So StreamYard, if you're already a member of it, it should automatically log you in. No, not that one. It's not going to let me log in. That's 3Ks in there, that's why. Oh, it's just sent me a pin now. Hang on. Sorry about this. I thought I was already logged into it. I don't know if I can get the key for it. See. Let's have a look here. Why is that not coming up? Oh, there we go. Restream key is 772 772202. Right. So obviously, if you're already logged into, if you're already joined to StreamYard, you log your YouTube channel to it. So then, once you want to create a stream, so you create a broadcast. You click on which one you want. You can either do Facebook or YouTube on Restream. Unless you pay for it, you can only do one at a time. So let's say you want to go on YouTube. Again, you add your title, add your description. We're going to go unlisted just in case. So you can schedule it for later if you want to. So like you put your times in. Oh, excuse me. Again, you can put your thumbnail in. Apply that. So then create broadcast. And that should automatically create our broadcast, which it has. Now what that should do is if we go back to YouTube, the live stream, it should create our broadcast in here as well, as it has. Here, look. So that automatically creates your broadcast in YouTube Studios for you. And the good thing with StreamYard is you can bring in airworms if you require them. So the only difference between the stream you've created in YouTube Studios yourself and the stream from StreamYard, sorry, is that it will tick this box here, which is enable auto start. So what that'll do, as soon as you start your streaming from StreamYard, it will automatically start the streaming in YouTube Studios. That's the only difference. And obviously, going through StreamYard, you'd knock down to 720. And then if you go straight through YouTube Studio, you will be streaming at 1080. So that's the only real difference. I couldn't see the questions, so let's see if there's any questions quickly. No, I don't think so. Oh, thank you, Rex. Thank you very much, sir. Colin, could I use a tablet as I only have one PC? You can stream from your tablet. You can stream from your tablet live. Oh, I don't know if you can now. When I used to first started stream, you could stream straight from your phone, virtually straight away. This is why I do it. Yeah, restream. StreamYard is the easy. If you want airworms, StreamYard is the easiest way, for sure. So right, so we've talked about OBS. We've talked about connecting. Let's get on a camera so you can't see it, so you can see me. You know, see my lovely face. Intro cam, this one. So we've talked about the cameras, connecting camcorders to it. We've talked about how to set up your scenes in OBS, how to set up setting up your sources in your scenes, bringing in cameras, bringing in audio captures. I mean, you can do loads. You can bring in text, you can bring in moving actions, you can bring in pictures. There's so much you can do. It's just sitting down and playing with it all the time. So we've talked about that. We've talked about how to get from OBS to YouTube Studios to broadcast again with your stream key. And with StreamYard, what I will just quickly say with StreamYard, sorry, let's just go back because I didn't explain how to get between StreamYard and OBS. So let's just go back to StreamYard. So with StreamYard, you will go into, let's go enter our broadcast. So that will take us into, let's say we're going to go live with our broadcast. We're going to go into our broadcast. So what will happen now is, obviously we've got no cameras on StreamYard because we're using them in OBS to take our footage. So what you need to use is a piece of, you need to download a plugin for OBS called Virtual Camera. Now what that does is if I click on, I'm going to click on, well actually I'll go back to the other one and I'll click on Virtual Camera and you'll see what that does. Virtual Camera will bring it in, so it brings my camera onto StreamYard, sorry. So then when you enter your broadcast, you add to stream, and what that'll do is bring whatever my camera see, that will bring into StreamYard. So then obviously then you invite your earworms in, and then when you're ready to go live, you just click go live. So easy as that. So let's bring, oh, I just didn't show you. So hang on, let's go back to this one. Let's try to keep flicking between scenes. So as soon as you're ready to go live, you just click on the go live button, and then whatever you're doing will go live onto StreamYard, and that will automatically go through to YouTube Studios and be broadcasted across YouTube. So that explains that. Like I say, guys, if there's any questions, chuck them in the chat. That's because I'm using the keyboard rather than. Sorry about that. Oh, blimey, chat's just gone mad. Florida Beard Woodworker, would a PC or laptop be better? I'd personally use a PC because I think a PC is more reliable and it's got a bit more thinking power. Douglas Munger, hi sir, how are you? Wayne Bigfoot, Steve, I need to get back to the graft and we'll rewatch it later. Probably irritate you with questions as well. Not a problem. Not a problem, Wayne. If we can help anybody, that's great. See you later, Wayne. See you later, Valerie. So who else questions we have here? Jappy. Thanks, Steve. I need to go, but can I message you more? Yep, not a problem, Jappy. Questions from Gerald French Turner. Can you invite anybody you want during a live? If you're going through StreamYard, I believe you can invite up to 6 guests, I think it is, through StreamYard. If you don't pay, if you pay, you can invite a lot more people in. Right, let's have a look. Right. Question from Colin was was your intro done in OBS? No, that was done in Filmora Wondershare. That's a totally different ball game, that one. That's a piece of editing software that I use for doing my videos, edit my videos with. It's good software, really good software. Right, so we've gone through OBS, we've gone through how to do StreamYard, we've gone through how to upload it to YouTube Studios. If anybody's got any questions quickly before we move on, then give us a shout and we will have a look at that before we move on. Like I said at the beginning, what I will do is anybody, once this live has been produced or processed and uploaded back to YouTube, I will add on descriptions for the webcams I use. I'll add a link for the OBS, StreamYard. I'll also add a link for the Stream Deck. I'll also add a link for Touch Portal because you can use Stream Deck or Touch Portal. So there's 2 different ways there. Some people like Stream Deck, some people like Touch Portal. Personally, I don't really care which one it is as long as it does a job I want it to do. And also any other equipment that I use, like the powered hubs I use and all things like that. So what else? Question: Are you, Steve? Are you turning a PC? Are you, Steve? Are you turning a PC now? Sorry, I don't understand what that means. Thank you, Colin. That's very much appreciated. Florida bearded woodworker. Right. What I did is I built a cabinet to put my PC in. So the PC's in the middle. I've got a fan at the back sucking air out of the chamber where the PC's in. I've got a fan on the side doing exactly the same. So it's like working on a negative vacuum to draw air across the motherboard of the PC. The only gap I have is the little gap around the where the door hits the front of the cupboard, and that just allows enough air to draw in. The computer doesn't overheat. and that's how I keep the dust. I still get a little bit of dust in there, but every 6 months or so I take it out, take the PC apart, just clean it all out, and then put it back together, and it seems fine. Like I say, it's been in there for a year or so now. I've taken it out once and cleaned it, and I've had no major issues. So hopefully what I'm doing is working. Because yesterday during Jay and Robbo's talk, they bragged me to listen a French accent in English. It was fun. Right, okay. Right, so someone asked about lighting. I personally use LED lighting. So I have 3 lights over the lathe, which I'll show you. Let me just move my mobile cam, which I'm actually surprised is still working, because it's just heat problems together. Good afternoon, Lionel. How are you? So I have 3 cameras on here. I have this camera. Actually, let's just move this camera back out a bit because it's a bit close. Let's just resize that. There we go. So I have this is my main light, which is an LED light. I've put masking tape over the top of it to dull it down a little bit because it was too white, and I got the cool white rather than the warm white light. So it was a bit white and a bit glary, so I've put a couple of layers of masking tape over that just to dull it down a little bit. The second camera I use is, oh, not camera, sorry, light, is I've used the 15-watt outdoor LED lights. So we've got that one there, which again has got some masking tape over the top to dull it down a little bit, so it's not so glary. And then I have another one over there, which you can see, which has got a makeshift shade on it, which I've been trying out for different angles and that on it. Again, that is exactly the same as the other one. That's a 15-watt outdoor LED light. They're cheap, about £10–12 each. They do the job, and they're really good. A lot of people have them all on the same switch. I put them all on separate switches. The reason being is because if you want to turn them on and off, you can. That makes sense to me. So yeah, they work well. I think I would imagine if the lights that I've got cost me any more than £40 for all 3 of them, I'll be very surprised. So I've not spent a fortune on lighting because I don't feel that you need to. So any more questions? Yeah, bearded woodwork. Yeah, I did build a sort of filter box. Afternoon, Lawrence. Oh, so we said hello to Lawrence. So down here a little bit. All right, for a bearded woodworker. When I started streaming, I built a Raiden, I think a 7. Yeah, I think it's a Raiden 7 motherboard, 32 gig of RAM, independent graphics card. I think that's a 4 gig 1050 Ti graphics card. Obviously, the PC's got 4 fans on it, 2 fans in the cupboard. I put an internal PIE, or is it PEI? One of the two. USB 3 board in the back of it, and that runs mine really, really well. I mean, I'm producing this video, or not this video now, live. According to OBS, I'm kicking out 60 frames a second, and my CPU is running at 10.2%. So my PC is hardly ticking over. You mean, I put solid state drives all in as well because I feel that solid state drives, for 2 reasons. One, they run cooler. Well, 3 reasons. They run cooler. They're no moving parts. They don't draw dust in with static electricity. And number 3, they're so much quicker as well. So that's why I use solid state drives. So obviously, the best you can afford on a PC, the better in my eyes. Darren, you want warm white light around 3002 to 3006 Kelvin. Any brighter than that. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good tip. Thank you very much for that, Darren. I'm going to write that down. So, warm. What was it? 232 to 36. Thank you for that. Because I feel that my lighting's not quite adequate enough, and I have been looking at trying to improve it. Steve, are you using LED? Are you using LED CRI 95? I honestly don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. Sorry, Lionel. Someone asked a question a minute ago, and I couldn't catch what it was. Oh, here we go. Barry Fisher, what plugins do you have on OBS? I have plugins. I have virtual camera, color correction, sharpness. Let's just have a quick look. I have apply lux, chrome key, color corrections, color key, dedicated NDI input or output, sorry, move source, move transition override, scroll sharpen, virtual cam, OBS NDI, fix alpha blending. They're the plugins that I use, but obviously depending on what you want is depending on what you use. Let's have a look. Yeah, I reckon a gamer PC would run it okay. Pete's put the graphics card helps a lot, I have just discovered. Yeah, graphics card, if you're using an independent graphics card, you mean my processor is 16 core, or is it 8 core? I think it's 8. Actually, no, I think it's 8 core. I think it's 8 core. So, but if you've got a dedicated graphics card, all the videoing is being done in hardware rather than software. So it makes it runs a lot more smoother and a lot better. Okay, yeah, a good graphics card is going to cost you £200, but in the long run, it's worth it. I do think it's worth it. Yeah, thank you for that, Darren. Right, so I think that basically wraps it up, really. I think I've covered most things to get streaming. Like I said, you can always... Brian asked a question. Sorry, I didn't see that. Where's Brian? Right, okay, Brian Woodturning. Can you show us how to do your transitions between scenes? Yeah, I can show you how to do that, Brian. Hang on, let me move. Let's go back over to... The trouble is, I'm going to have to do it on the move cam, because if I do it any other way, you're not going to see the transition, because obviously as soon as I do the move, that's going to obviously go. So hopefully you'll be able to see this. Let me just move this in a little bit so you can get a bit closer look. So you're going to have to... Right, so that's a bit too big now. Right, so can you see that? So this is the best way I can do it. So as you can see here, this is your source. So you want to be able to move between scene to scene. The trouble is, as soon as I click over, we're going to lose... I can show you how to do it, but I won't be able to do it because as soon as you move it, I'm going to lose this picture. So once you've gone, say for instance, you've got all your scenes down here, and you want to go between those scenes, you over this bit here where it says scenes transactions, you have in here as standard you'll have cut, fade, squares, lunar wipe, and that's it. So to get the others, you have to do what they call plugins. So I've got the rest. I think Stinger might be a standard one as well, but I've got plugins as move and robot doors. So say for instance you want to do move. So if you do move, then you can go properties. That'll bring your screen up. So then you can go through this and basically it's just playing around with it. And you've got so many different settings. You just need to play around with what you want to do. But you've got your matching items, which is obviously the scene you are at and the scene you're going to. This is telling that what it's got to do. Then you've got your a pairing item. So this is the one that's coming into the new scene to create the new scene, or the new source, sorry. No, new scene, sorry. So this is telling that what to do. So you've got, it can ease in and out, it can stay no easing, or whatever you want to do. This is the function. So you've got different functions you can use on it and different shapes and the way it comes in. It's all about playing with it and seeing how you get it. And then they've got this one is on how the one that you're already watching and how it's going to disappear. So once you've done that, you can have a play. I mean, you can alter them and you can play around with them, and that will show you how it's going to disappear or come in. So if we sort of change that to bounce, change that one to bounce, that should show us differently how it's going to go in. But I just leave them on cubic, to be honest. I don't want nothing too fancy. And what you need to do, once you've set those up, when you set your scenes up, or your scenes up, you want your cameras set to deactivate when not being used, so your cameras don't stay live. So when you go between one scene to another scene, you need to give the PC time to turn one camera off and turn the other camera on. So what you need to do, you need to change your duration time. I used to have mine at 2000 milliseconds, but it wasn't quite enough time to transfer between one camera and the other camera without the second camera or the new camera coming on not being activated. So I've increased it to 3500 milliseconds now. Now that gives the camera time to turn it on before it's actually into focus or into the source or scene, sorry. So that's how you do that one. But obviously you've got different, you've got different types of whatever you want to do. It's just, and there are other types as well. It's just playing around and getting the one that you want to do. And I do like the move one. The move one is very nice because you can do it so it brings in different types of scenes different ways. And as you can see with the one we was using on Friday with the animated full guests here, it brings in the scenes differently. So then if I went to the free guest, my picture would stay, but it would all just move me to where my new slot is, like that. Where a lot of the others would fade out and then fade back in. So that's the bonus of using the what do you call it? The move piece. So I hope that helps, Brian. If you've got any questions, mate, just message me and we'll sort something out. Ah, Terry's in. Hello, Terry. Sorry, mate, no Nick today. See, America, I don't know. For a bearded worker, does anybody recommend good place for PC components at a reasonable price? I don't know about America, sir. Obviously, I bought mine from a local company. So anyway, I hope that helps. I know it's a lot of. I know it's a lot to take in, but it's just playing around with it. What I did is on my PC in the house, I downloaded OBS, which is not connected to anything, well, obviously to the PC, and I just played with it, just kept playing with it until I just kept playing with it until I found out what I was doing, basically. Kim Dickinson, clear as mud. It's not hard, Kim. It's just playing around with it. You can't do no harm. At the end of the day, if your OBS is, if you want to add text to OBS, you can add text to it. Oh, Terry, poor man. Oh, that's good. Barry's got his package. That's good. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you, Barry. Not a problem, mate. Anytime. Yeah, so it's not hard. It's just playing around with it. Play around and play. I mean, at the end of the day, if worse come to worse, you mess it up, you delete it off your computer, reinstall it. It's not a major issue. The plugins, if you go to OBS's website, they will the plugins are all listed there. But what I did is I watched YouTube. There's loads of demos on YouTube about OBS, absolutely hundreds of them. And what I did is I spent hours upon hours just watching YouTube videos on how to do like the move and how to install the plugins and do other bits and bobs. And it's beneficial. It's beneficial. If you want to live stream, it's beneficial. So anyway, if there's no more questions, I'm going to kill it because I think we've covered everything that I wanted to go through. Like I said, I've been asked by so many people about it. I just thought I'd do a quick video. Well, we'll do a live. We'll do a live and just basically run through it. If anybody's got any questions. If anybody's got any questions, then message me, and obviously myself or any of the other guys who live stream will help you where we can. So hopefully it's been good. It's been something different. Battle of the Makers next Friday. I've just got to fiddle around with the questions. All the questions are ready. I've just got to go through them and double check them all. So as I did the link for it, it's a special next week. We're doing it in memory of Sir Captain Tom Moore. Obviously, he raised a mega amount of money for the NHS and unfortunately passed away. And his family has decided to do a 100 challenge, or a Tom Moore 100 challenge. So unfortunately, we can't do it for charity. So we're going to do it just as a memorial, as a love and memory of Sir Captain Tom Moore. So we're going to do that. But I have added to the description a link to the GoFundMe. So if you want to donate to the Sir Captain Tom Moore GoFundMe, then the link is there if you require it. But like I say, it's this is just, we're doing it basically just as a memorial to him. An absolute outstanding gentleman, and he's given so much to his country. So I think that's the least we could do. Right then, guys, if there's no more questions, I'm going to knock it on the head. So as normal, next Sunday, me and Nick will both be back. And then I believe the week after that, I won't be doing a Friday or a Sunday, but there is cover. I've got 2 gentlemen to cover for me, so keep your eye out for that. Bye, Ruby. Thanks for coming over. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope I didn't bore too many people. Steve Woodgracious, thank you very much. Interesting information. Thank you. More than welcome. Steve, can you drop me? Yeah, drop your link in, Mark. Not a problem. Yes, he was, Colin. Very much so. He was a true hero. Yes, I agree. He gave so much for his king and country, or queen and country, should we say? So, right, we'll just wait for Mark to chuck his link on. Mark's live tomorrow night. Obviously, I don't know if Hodgepodge is on this afternoon. I know he cancelled yesterday, so whether he's on today or not, I don't know. We have Wayne the Woodturner on tonight. Mike Wold's on tonight as well. Then we have Makers International on at 9:30. Then JP at 11, and then Caitlin the Cat at 11:30, I believe. So keep an eye out for those. Right then, guys, there's Mark's link. Make sure you come over and see Mark tomorrow night. Very technical, Steve. Yeah, my head's hurting now, Douglas. No, I'm joking. So, like, if any of you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me or any of the other guys. We're always more than willing to help anybody to get started, and we'll help where we can. So, anyway, guys, have a great weekend. Take care. Speak to you soon, and bye for now. Bye.
That's all, folks.